Hey Barbara, how are you? I saw a lot of police, so that's why I put the live stream on. See the left side and the right side. They blocked the road. I have to turn right. So funny. Check my map. Where am I at? D Street. And the police blocked the independent Israel or Palestine. I don't know. Finally. Sorry. The guy let me go. critical thinking. Good, thank you. Hey, baby for freedom. Happy mama. How are you? That is a little different. You see. Have you seen all the police were here? I think they all stay in Independence Avenue around the Capitol Hill. Here is another one. Good evening. Please, all around the Capitol Hill. The Independence Avenue. Left, right. They all packed there. Flash the line.
Yeah, we'll keep on going. Yeah. Stupid getter's not working. Volume. They just said they fixed it. Yeah, Willie Nelson passed away today. Well, last night, from what I understood.
Someone passed away?
Yeah, Willie Nelson. Country music, Willie Nelson. Well, I guess we won't have anybody on Rumble and Getter tonight because it's not playing any sound. Only plays songs for a second. That's true, Jay. That's a bummer. Maybe so many people are streaming on Gather, the big wigs, kicking me off. Oh, we got Joe at a ice cream cone hidden under the podium. Hi, Willie. You're more alive than I am, man. I doubt that, Willie. I think Chris is still alive, yeah. Hi, Wing Bender. Again. 87. Holy cow. I didn't realize he was that old. I thought he was in his late, middle to late 70s. I didn't realize he was that old. So I guess all I was going to do is look at Rumble tonight and don't have to go back and forth. Hi SL20. Hi Chris DL. We might have some more different people.
I know why they are late. Because
traffic.
Yeah, because the police block the way, the road. Yeah.
Oh, the police are blocking the road because of protesters downtown.
Yeah, they could put that fence around the Capitol to keep people out, but they can't put a fence on our border to keep people out. Isn't that kind of...
That's a little better there. I had the screen. I thought I had the light up. I had to go in and redo it.
Let me see. We have.
Let's see what that looks like.
Well, we're just at the play with this year. It's a new phone. So I'm glad you took it out at least earlier.
Right. That did improve, for sure.
Just gotta figure out your lines. Right.
Thank you, Debbie Evans.
Right, the game.
Hi, Ollie. So we're probably going to be a little late tonight because of the traffic and the popos are all over the place because of the
teamwork.
Capitol junk.
Yeah, they block the road.
We got detoured. Uh-oh, share your pocket. What happened here? Whose is this? Uh-oh. Oh no.
That's something nasty.
I just don't know, Storm. I just don't know. Shit. Touch something nasty. It's possible. It's DC. Thanks, Ruffet. That makes me feel so much better.
That's what I tell Sherry when we're driving. It's DC.
It is. You know it, I know it, they know it. Yeah. Just kick that in the gutter, please, where somebody else does the same thing I did. Don't read it. Just kick it, please. I don't want to know.
I'm going to pick it up and throw it away when we get a napkin or Kleenex or something.
I'm not sure.
Make sure you use the Kleenex or something.
Yeah.
Power on. Bluetooth paired. Bluetooth connected.
When the clock strikes midnight, gonna rise and light me, feel the thunder till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, breathing good, Lord lifts me higher.
Beautiful Katie.
Sorry, that did it.
Good.
Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're white. Everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We can unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey, the music we bump, all about shooting guns and doing drugs. Hey, the things that we want are promoted subliminally through the songs like, you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills at the blunt and go live at the club till you're broke. It's all controlled by the elites, put fake news all over our screens, convincing the right to go fight with the left and distract from the fact it's each other we need. Divided by race and religion, segregated into teams. You're a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood won't splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan. And it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws to govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers. Hey, the music we make, all about big booties and getting paid. Hey, whoa. We watch the news and it fills up our brains with violence and riots and race. Like this is a race war. You need to hate more. Get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more. What a vicious cycle we can break away from. They control the culture, they control the paper. They're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of life in the system. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood don't splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. The music will make you dumb, the media makes you hate, and they control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos, economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white or it's left versus right, divide and conquer and control us to pay off. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood don't splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
明天3点看 Taki。
好，谢谢，好。
Will you climb the highest mountain? Will you fight for those who can't? Will you fold and walk away, or will you stay and take a stand? Don't be silenced by the lights where you can choose to understand. Oh, we've come too far to see this common land.
They want us lost and scarred. Hate the cops, break the law, and the news tries to say what's right and wrong. If you believe that, it's safe to say you probably gone. And I don't wear a mask, why don't you make me put one on? These days, morals and values take a back seat. Underage girls getting paid to shake their ass cheeks. If that was my daughter, you bet she get her ass beat. And I was born tough, so I don't need this vaccine. They try to make us feel like we stand alone. Why you comments, I'ma vomit with this
Will you
nonsense.
climb the highest mountain? Will you fight for those who can't? Will you fold and walk away? Or will you stay and take a stand? Don't be silenced by the lies when you can choose to understand. Oh, we've come too far to see us from the land.
I don't do good with being told that I have to do anything but really think what has really happened to morals and the standards we were taught about. I ought to shout from the highest mountain what I thought about everything that's going on. Children being preyed upon, a righteous path I'm staying on. Reading what they say in songs, I sang a song. God, we need you now. Has that political things we show our kids right now is also critical. It's pitiful, pinning us against each other. Guess that is their pinnacle. Tip of the iceberg, sinking ships with their ridicule. Ridiculous, they're infamous for stripping us of innocence, but making innocent victims depend on stimulus.
Climb the highest mountain. Will you fight for those who can't? Will you fold and walk away? Or will you stay and take a stand? Don't be silenced by the lies when you can choose to understand. Oh, we've come too far.
Thank you for joining us.
Let's pray, you guys. Sherry, are you chewing?
No,
All
no,
right.
you caught me without any chewing tonight.
All right, let's go.
Thanks for asking.
That's all right.
Dear Heavenly Father, the state of the union is sad. Sad because we see people being persecuted. We hear stories of the injustice of this system, of this nation, across this nation. And we hear this testimonies of the innocent being abused, being trafficked. Oh, Father, we cry out to you. We know you are just and merciful God. We know that you see all things, and nothing escapes your, because you are omnipresent. You are everywhere, and you see all. So, Father, we cry out for the innocents, maybe those that don't know you, that are voiceless. So we speak on behalf of them. Ask that you extend your mighty hand to change the hearts of those that are still in denial, those that are still being deceived, that they will see the truth. They will come into the light and see what is happening to this nation, a nation that was founded on your laws, on the 10 Commandments, and believing and putting their trust in you. So we know, we call to you this evening and in the coming days that truth and justice and freedom will reign again, once again, across this land, a land we call America. We lift up each person to you this evening. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's so
All the way.
Hey, Young.
Howdy.
I hope, Glory be, I hope you're feeling better. Jen Baker, I hope you're feeling better. You know, I was just talking with Dwight. They've made several arrests today. I think in the last 2 days, I'm going to say over 5, probably closer to 10. But Anthony Vo, who has been out on the corner, and he was charged with the 4 misdemeanors. He did take the government to task. He was found guilty of all those charges, but they arrested his mother today and this morning. So, you know, now she's going to have to go through the process. She was here with him during trial, and, you know, and she walked the same path he did. So she knew it was, you know, a matter of time. But like with all of this, it's no rhyme or reason sometimes on why people are charged with what and things. It makes, you never know what to expect because it is so random. Micki and I did go to the hearing today on the weaponization of the federal government, where they had several people that have background in finance and banking, and I believe they had a psychologist and this man from Canada, I can't remember his name right now, but you know, they testified about how the collusion of the government into our financials, and they can do that without a warrant at all. They can absolutely go and see what the FBI can. And they said the reason that it was done on January 6th was because there was going to be threats of people coming back on January 20th during the inauguration. You know, I would say that would be very few people that said that. You know, I don't know, but they mass surveilled hundreds of thousands of American citizens without a warrant. And a whistleblower came forward and testified to that with, if you made a purchase of a weapon 6 months prior to January 6th, your name was put at the top of that list that was given to the FBI. Now, you know, they say that it's to stop, you know, crimes from happening, criminal activity and those types of things. But you're going to get to a point where they're colluding so much, and even many of them testified to the fact that, you know, that AI and all of these technologies moving forward is going to cause, you know, a problem to where almost people can get arrested. Like a thought crime is going to happen. They can categorize you according to your purchases, what's in your financials, and predict that you could commit a crime. Now that is really what that hearing was about, but they did bring in Michael Fanone to testify as a rebuttal, which I'm not sure what he knows about banking and financial matters when it comes to, you know, surveillance of the American people, you know, but he was there as the rebuttal witness. And I just found it quite odd because they wanted to bring it back to January 6th over and over again, which I understand. January 6th did bring it to light that they surveilled hundreds of thousands of American people but through their financials without a warrant, which they can do. But
they don't even have to notify you.
You have no idea they're doing it. They don't have to notify you. They have no idea. So, you know, this is really what that hearing is about. But the left could not make it about January 6th. They had to continually talk about it when we should be understanding and fixing. The bankers had issues of a certain bill that Congress had passed in 1970 something that could, if they repealed this bill that they passed, that it would curtail what these financial entities, these banks and things, could do with the government. But the left didn't even want, the other side of the aisle didn't even want to engage in that debate. They thought it was useless to even have it. Well, they're the ones that kept bringing up January 6th. You know, if one thing January 6th did make me realize is that there is a weaponization of this government. I thought Guy and I were protesting and standing up to the overreach of the government. I had no idea until I sat in on all these cases and all of these trials and these hearings that our government has been set up for years against us. And, you know, thank goodness, you know, things have happened to where we are able to see those things now. So, you know, the hearing was, you know, once again condescending and nothing got done. They did not listen to what these advisors were saying. The man from Canada was saying, you know, what happened to the truckers and all of their funds being drained and seized by the government. Well, you know, many Jan 6ers had their bank accounts closed down, their credit cards shut down. Those same type of things did happen, but not to the extent it did in Canada.
No, they just threw our guys in jail.
Exactly. Right. You know, but he was saying there is no First Amendment protection, right, you know, where he lives in Canada. It is very limited. And, you know, he's saying, you know, he actually said, you know, at least you have some of that protection here. It is very little, and we're losing it. He said it's coming. Now, this is someone that is testifying about what he is seeing happening in his country without the protection of the Constitution. You know.
And then Massey read the Fourth Amendment.
Exactly. Massey read the Fourth Amendment in its, you know, to these bankers and said, so is this, in your opinion, an infringement upon that amendment? Absolutely.
Then, they said yes, yes, yes. And Fanone said what?
Fanone said, you know, that he has PTSD. And, you know, it just made no sense for Fanone to be there when the topic of the hearing was, you know, the United States government colluding with...
and the FBI surveilling American people without warrants.
Nicole got in trouble. Nicole got in a little bit of trouble. She was naughty. It's all right. I mean, I said okay. I said, all right. I said, okay. Well, the man in front of us kept telling me to shush, and then Micki chimed in, and he said her to shush, and we said...
He said, do you mind? And
yeah.
we said, why? As a matter of fact, we do.
We do mind.
We do mind a lot.
We mind a lot because this is such a joke. It is such a joke.
But we weren't disorderly first. It was actually Miss Plaskett who was having one of her minor meltdowns, and she was out of order. And we were like, kind of, you know, look at her losing her mind. And then the guy in front of us, that's when we got shushed, and we told him we did mind. And then Mr. Capitol Police Officer that keeps everybody against the wall for the lines that form. Very important job. Well, it can be, though, if you've been waiting to get in and somebody wants to cut in front of you. That can be a big job. Anyway, he told us that we would have to be quiet.
Representative Conley, he asked Fanone, no, he didn't ask Fanone, he asked the one of the financial advisors if he believed that the January 6th prisoners were hostages. And, you know, he did stumble because he's not there to answer questions like that. Once again, that's where they're just trying to make the hearing about January 6th, and really it was about the weaponization of the government against the people, and they deflected. And that just tells us all we need to know. So, and I still don't know anything about Guy Wesley.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Don't we know it?
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, sorry about being so late to call in tonight. I actually wasn't scheduled to call first. There was a little confusion happening, which sometimes happens here in the pod. Anyway, so I apologize for being a little late to call, but I jumped in.
Well, all right. It's always good to hear from you. And, you know, we kind of wing it out here. We're good.
Okay, great. Awesome. So today's the State of the Union. Are you guys excited for that? Because I know I'm not.
Oh my gosh, we went to the Rayburn building today for a committee hearing, and they have like 6 or 7 foot tall, like serious fence around around the Capitol building, and I guess they found out, you know, snow fencing sometimes doesn't hold up, but there's a pro-Palestinian demonstration, and you know, it got a little. I've seen a couple of clips of some pretty crazy activity over there. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know how rowdy it is right now because I'm not on my phone. But on the way over here, it's getting pretty rowdy.
You know, it's been interesting watching, and I mean, I don't follow it that close. It's not like I have the ability to follow it that close from in here. I can't do any really great research. I can just kind of read the surface of the news and watch Scripps TV, which is, it's painful to watch Scripps News. It's just absolutely like pulling teeth when it's on. But it's been interesting watching the capitulation of the Biden administration to the Palestinian side. You know, I mean, that's where his base, the identity politics that make up the Democrat Party has a large constituency that is obviously pro-Gaza, pro-Palestinian movement, pro-Muslim Brotherhood, and then there's also a pretty decent sized constituency that is pro-Israel, a lot of your Blue Dog Democrats, stuff like that. And Joe Biden historically has been clearly in the pro-Israel side of the camp, and a huge portion of his administration is dual Israeli-American citizens. I mean, it's a pretty long list of people in his administration that are dual citizens. So it's been interesting watching him initially come out completely pro-Israel's right to defend itself and pro-Israel, and then slowly but surely watching him kind of back off, talking about ceasefire. You know, Kamala Harris recently called for a ceasefire. Now, I saw a little bit on the news today that he's planning on introducing announcing that they're going to be creating a temporary port in Gaza in order to bring in humanitarian aid. Obviously, they've been dropping off humanitarian aid. And I genuinely don't have a strong opinion either way. I'm kind of like, hey, we have a southern border that has a problem. Yeah. We have inner cities that have serious problems. And frankly, I kind of feel like that neighborhood of the world should deal with it. I think that was the whole point of the Abraham Accord, and the attempt to broker peace in the Middle East was to basically say that Hamas and Hezbollah and those involved in the Palestinian issue, that you guys have not wanted peace for so long, but the rest of the region wants it. Let's go ahead and sue for peace. And so I just feel like we need to focus domestically. But that aside, it's been interesting watching them capitulate to the demonstrators, right? To the demonstrators in New York, the demonstrators in D.C., because they are a noisy, rowdy bunch. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I do wonder how far he'll go, and at what point that he'll start to offend his pro-Israeli base, right? We see a lot of commercials that run on TV here in the DMV that are like the StopJewishHate.com commercials and things like that. And so there's a lot of money behind that lobby as well. And it'll just be interesting. I saw it early on, and every now and then you do see an issue in a party that you're like, oh, this is going to rip, you know, this is going to cause a huge riptide. And obviously, even through the primaries, Biden's had the quote uncommitted voter momentum, and you know, up in Michigan and Minnesota, that was a significant chunk of votes. I mean, uncommitted got more votes than Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson. So it's pretty impressive how they pulled that together in just a matter of days. And that could bode very badly for Biden in the election, because a lot of people might go, well, shoot, if America's just going to be pro-Israel with Trump and or Biden, at least we can get cheaper gas prices with Trump. You know what I mean? It'll be really interesting to see how that all plays out.
Well, yeah, that is true, but I know that the pro-Palestinian marches, all of those people really, you know, they call him Genocide Joe. So, you know, and it's a huge amount of people, So it will be interesting to see how he plays to that particular group of people.
Yeah, one thing that became very obvious in 2020 was it didn't seem like Joe Biden felt the need to do very much campaigning at all in order to get that election, which was really surprising. I remember him coming out to campaign speeches with large circles in grass and speaking to 15 to 30 people, and you're just kind of like, what is going on here? And, you know, they joked about him being Basement Joe, but genuinely sitting back at home watching, I was like, man, this guy does not put on an event with more than a couple dozen people involved, and obviously with the internet, I guess you could pull that off. But I think by playing so much to the internet base, it made it very difficult for Americans to assess if he really did have an audience or not. Because Trump, you know, he would have a rally with 30, 40, 50, 60, 80,000 people there, and then he'd have 1 million people watching online. And Joe Biden would have 1,000 people watching online. I mean, the disparity was stunning.
Yeah, well, don't tell anybody, but I think he might have known the fix was in. Yeah, the ladies on. He might have known.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to express my political opinion, you know, or anything like that. But yeah, it was very, very interesting. I did listen to Dan Bongino's show today, or at least a portion of it. And he was talking about on January 6th, there seems to be, and again, you know, I'm just a victim of a convict. Excuse me, I always get that mixed up. I'm just a victim of a convict in prison or jail, right? But he was talking today about how Kamala Harris and I believe Mike Pence, and, you know, it's so staticky, sometimes I don't get the whole thing, but essentially they were maybe not where the prosecutions up till now have said that they were, and maybe that those areas were not technically protected areas by the Secret Service, even though people have been convicted of that. And it was very alarming. He said they have video and proof, and he was throwing out a lot of really big words. I mean, not necessarily large words, but very powerful words, that they have video proof that Kamala Harris and Mike Pence were not where prosecutions, plural, have said they were through all these trials. So that could be really interesting.
It could be, and should have been 2 years ago when that information came out. Nicole had something she wanted to add.
Okay, yes. First, the ladies online were telling me that Mr. President Joe Biden has to have 2 intermissions during the State of the Union tonight. So 2 breaks. And, you know, the frustrating thing about the video about Kamala Harris and all of those things is that that already came out during Guy's trial. All of the initial indictments and all of those things, they did lie to get those indictments. They did not. And then during Guy's trial, they had to take Kamala Harris off of everything, even before the trial began, because that was already a known thing. They did, even as weak as Guy's lawyer was during Guy's trial, he did try to get the placement of Mike Pence. You know, they say he was in an underground, like, parking garage type thing, and was it attached to the Capitol? Was it not? It was, you know, but they, of course, they're never going to let that out because of security reasons. But, you know, Guy's trial was actually, he was convicted of all counts March 6th of 22, so 2 years ago.
You know, the really tricky thing, and I've, you know, obviously I have a certain perspective on all of this, and it's my own, but we're in an adversarial system, and an adversarial system counts on both sides lying on their own behalf, right? So the judge in his mind is just listening to a bunch of lies, a little bit of truth mixed in there, and they decide. And one of the things that really burns us, I mean, it really just makes it very difficult to get an acquittal in a court, is the jury instructions. The way those jury instructions get read out, you know, if XYZ, you must convict. If XYZ, you must convict. And that's the last thing the jury hears heading into the jury room. I was really surprised to just hear the language of the jury instructions and how those are written. You know, the jurors are not attorneys. They're not going to parse through the jury instructions and, you know, come up with this whole beyond a shadow of a doubt, preponderance of evidence, and all these different, they don't think of it in terms of like that, they just go, well, what's the law? And then they just kind of make in my opinion, they make kind of a broad sweep on, okay, well, you must convict, right? I mean, it's really surprising. So when you have a detail like that, like, oh, the law says that if they're in the presence, I don't even have it in front of me, so I'm just kind of pulling it out of thin air, so I'm making this up. But if the law says, you know, if you're within 100 feet of the vice president-elect, then you're in a restricted area. If you're told to leave and you don't leave, you're trespassing.
Well, okay, well, to do with the separate
if you find that they were within 100 feet of Kamala Harris, you must convict. Well, if Kamala Harris isn't even there, does the jury even recognize that she wasn't there? You know what I mean? Like, are those dots getting put together right before they head into the jury room after they've just listened to multiple days or weeks of trial? You know, do they remember a detail like that? It's kind of like the 1512. if you read the 1512, it's like a document, a witness, you know, it's like, whoa, it's not just obstruction of Congress. Like, it's specifically talking about, did you destroy a document? Did you prevent a witness from showing up at a committee hearing? You know, that kind of language. But yet somehow you could get a conviction on that because you just, quote, obstructed Congress. Like, I just felt like the jury instructions are one of the most damning pieces of the entire judicial process.
Well, yeah,
and I feel like if you're not dealing with well-trained lawyers and legalese, it's convincing.
Yeah, especially when they want to get you from the beginning. And the charge you're talking about, you know, with Mike Pence and stuff, it has to do with what area the Secret Service is guarding, which was also confusing because when the pro-Palestinian protesters, you know, shook the gate of the White House and put bloody painted.
They didn't just shake the gate. They sent 60 Secret Service officers to the hospital. They didn't just shake the gate.
See, I didn't realize so many. Okay, well, so where are those same charges? Where are those similar indictments? So, you know
what? They just made fun of Donald Trump for having to go on down to the bunker. They didn't actually charge anybody with crimes, even though there were actual injuries there. You know.
Oh, this was a couple months ago. This was a couple months ago. After
just a couple months ago.
Yeah,
well, I was talking about back when Trump was in office.
No, the
Still, you know, they made fun of him for having to go down to the bunker.
They did, because it was all a big joke, and then you should have heard him today. You know, Mike Fanone testified in a committee hearing today that we can't figure out why he was there, but all the Democrats were telling what a hero he was, and you know, but.
You know,
yeah, well,
a lot of this is a lot of this was the reasons. I just accepted all the charges. I didn't make a plea. I wasn't there to plead. That's different than accepting the charges. I accepted all the charges. I didn't argue the facts, law, jurisdiction, or venue because, in my opinion, the facts are on the moon. It just doesn't even matter. This is such a hokey pokey that the idea that, you know, Secret Service. You know what we know about the Secret Service? They're secret. You're not going to find out where Mike Pence was. You're not going to find out this, that, or the other. You're never going to find out why the area was or wasn't restricted. You're not going to find out about the pipe bomber. You're not going to find out about all these different things. It's such a cluster, blankety blank. The best thing that I found for myself was to just accept all the charges, not argue the facts, law, jurisdiction, or venue, and to just see this for what it was. And I know that my approach is different than other people, and everybody's going to do what they feel is right for them. But this was part of the problem is, you know, you can spend, there will be historians that will spend decades trying to figure out what happened on January 6th, right? And we will never know. There's going to be things hidden under secrecy. You know, if I'm an American and I'm looking at something, well, look, if something is so secret that you can't reveal it, but you're willing to put someone in jail without telling the secret, then you need to acquit them, right? If Mike Pence was in a hidden bunker somewhere and it's too secret to say where it was, well, then you can't make that a part of the trial. You can't just allude to it but then hold it back for national security because someone's life is on the line. That's the whole point, is the collective is not greater than the individual. Your individual...
You have 1 minute remaining.
Your individual rights trump the collective. And that's the way our country was founded. That's the way the republic was established. But that's not the way that, quote-unquote, the democracy wants to see it. And that's why we have to be very careful about our language and how we look at things, because we can't let slip away private property rights, which includes your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? And we're letting that happen in the name of democracy. I wonder how many times tonight Joe Biden's going to use the word democracy. But our founding fathers detested that. They didn't want a democracy. But yet here we use it so casually as if it's just okay to do, right? Our national language and the way we use our words really does matter. And anyways, my time is running short. You guys, thank you so much for the chance to talk again tonight. And as always, those of you out there in the world, if you want to honor my family, you can go to gibsongo.com/John Family Health. And also, my wife has a website where we post our writings and different thoughts and things called peasantsperspective.com. And we invite you to join us at either one of those. Thank you.
Oh, well, that hardly ever happens.
I think we have a link to his page on our page.
Peasant's Perspective.
Peasant's Perspective. We have a link to that, right?
On our Ashley page.
Thanks, Ted. .com. Peasantsperspective.com.
You want to talk, Ruffin? Oh, I better not.
We got her kicked in right now.
She's been in trouble once today, though. I have been in trouble once.
ever get lonely. I got these goals to keep me company. I took the rear view off, but it's so forward, so I only see in front of me. Now the past is out of sight and out of mind. Swore I'd change, now I'm back chasing these white lines. I'm just a long-haired son of a sinner, searching for new ways I can get gone. I'm a battle to the highway. If you ever wonder why we write these songs, 'cause I'm only one drink away from the devil. I'm only one call away from home. Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. I guess I'm just a little right and wrong. These back roads got me. These pills pretend to be my friend. I'm done for the last time. I'm lying to myself again. I always say that. Now I'm on my way back here somehow. I should know by now. I'm just a long-haired son of a sinner, searching for new ways I can get gone. I'm a battle to the highway. If you ever wonder why we write these songs, 'cause I'm only one drink away from the devil. I'm only one call away from home. Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. I guess I'm just a little right and wrong. Mistakes I made, I paid for them with cash. Walked a million miles on broken glass. I'm feeling like I'm fading. My heart's been slowly breaking. Might pop a pill and smoke and make.
Get a lot of calling.
Hello, Patriot.
What's going on, Patriots? How are you?
How's it going? It's going great. Beautiful weather out tonight, and almost all the police are around the Capitol because, of course, there's hundreds of protesters there, so they're leaving us alone tonight.
Wow. Aren't you lucky? Great time to rob a bank, I'm just saying.
What are you going to rob them? What are you going to rob them of? The toilet paper they call money?
Exactly.
Hey, Chris, so I saw that your sentencing got pushed.
Yeah, no idea what that's about. I'm very, very open on this. Way
Something was
too open,
filed
I've been
under
told.
seal.
Yeah, I have no idea anything about that.
They
The
have
only
quite a
thing that
few-
I can think,
They have quite
the
a
only
few of
thing
your
that I can think
one-liners.
of, go ahead.
They have quite a few of your one-liners here on Freedom Corner.
Maybe the judge got your letter.
So I don't think so.
Here's the thing. These guys are very sensitive, and they have made provisions within their system to continue to screw you as much as they want to. And that's called perpetual exile. And you're witnessing it with Quaglin here. So they've sealed his upcoming case now, and two things that does. One, that opens him up to future trials and basically adding more damages to him and time, and also with other less, let's say less astute people out there that might be supporters. They would think possibly that he might be an informant or something like that. Because look, we've seen it. If you just look at Pacer alone, you can see that in these cases, every time they do a secret indictment or whatever, the sealed indictment or something like that, all of a sudden everybody's automatic response is, oh, that's an informant right there.
Yeah, well, I have to.
And I'm just saying that's BS. Don't fall for it.
If anyone knows, I mean, listen, I'm way too vocal out here.
That's right. You know, Chris, if you're an informant, they're screwed. Yeah. Of course, totally missed the memo on what he was supposed to inform on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, right. So I have been very, very vocal that I was given, and I still have copies of, by the way, multiple copies of my my discovery. Incomplete as it is, I have multiple copies of it. With that is the Benjamin Folk interview or interrogation that I believe A is doctored, but B is about 10 minutes long, and where I've already played it out to one person, and they do have it. I think it's bad quality, but they do have it. And where basically Ben Folk, Special Agent Ben Folk from the DC office, offers me full immunity. He says around the words of, listen, you haven't even been charged yet. Cooperate with us, and I can make it so you don't get charged at all.
Yeah, turn state evidence.
And I say, my lawyer told me not to answer any questions without them being present. Currently reserve that right. And I said that about 3 times. That's the only thing that I ever said to him.
Chris. So they did give some reasons in the paperwork that Nicole read, and some of it has to do with your comments, public comments, and talking about how you took your plea deal under duress, and that, like I said, very specifically, some of the things that you have said publicly, they gave the reason for the pushback. So they, well, I'm just saying, we might want to think about that.
I mean,
But they didn't have to steal it.
What I said publicly was, what? I mean, this wasn't an insurrection. You want to know what an insurrection would have looked like? It was 100,000 people with long guns outside. That would have been an insurrection.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Clarifying a definition.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I mean,
it's clarifying a definition. And I'll tell you something to begin with. This is ridiculous, because you've got people in place that, number one, are frauds. 2, they know exactly what they're doing, and and people are wondering, well, do they know, or do they see what they're doing? Absolutely, they do. This is law 101. You know, you have a right to air your grievance. It's a redress of grievance. One of those ways to do that is through protest. We were able to do that. It was funny because permits were fine up until 1 hour.
Yeah.
Before the whole thing. Okay? So, and nobody on the ground knew that.
Right.
So you can't say that we knowingly or intentionally did anything.
Actually,
people are willing to do it.
I actually want to know, and I think this has something to do with it, is because of this video evidence that I keep on talking about that I have. And I specifically talked to, because I realized that there were 40-something-year-old men that looked like cops, frankly. And they all had these rainbow bracelets. This was up by the GW Memorial. And I grabbed him and I said, listen, what are you going to do when 500,000 people, march at the Capitol? I said, there's nothing there. There's no fencing. There's no
National Guard.
There's nothing. Like, what are you guys gonna do?
We do know.
Like, I see you, I see him, and I see him. And I pointed out 4 or 5 of his buddies, because at this point they all froze, because they're all doing their perimeter, whatever, or circles, or whatever they're doing. And I literally grabbed one of the dudes.
Circle jerk.
And I said, you know, and I pulled him aside. And I called him out on it, and he smiled at me, and he goes, as soon as you cross that line, you're breaking the law. And this is all recorded and videotaped, audio and video, by the way. So he said that there were no permits. Now, if those permits were pulled, everyone's talking about this 1 hour, right? And I'm just rattling this off in my head, and that's why I'm not going on speech or anything like that. Yeah. So where I'm going with it, well, how did they know the permits were pulled? Because I think this was like 9 a.m. So if permits were pulled an hour before what? And I might be barking up the wrong tree, because they might be like, oh, well, an hour before the first speech was ever written, they were pulled at, you know, the permits were pulled at 4 a.m. You know, and then I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I don't ever.
I think Stop the Hate has the details on that, actually.
I'm sure they do. And you know what's funny is, as soon as I started talking to Stop the Hate, things started happening. And I don't know if in other circles things are going out.
Well, Dave Summerall has put those details about the permits out already.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I have been in touch with David Summerall. David Summerall is one of my legal advisors. Right. He's my videographer.
Liaison.
Legal liaison. And we've been talking in depth, or we were. I'm not saying ill things about him. I'm just wondering if things started going out around those circles, and then that's what, you know,
something's going on, because you know, when you've got your best hope of support basically you know, putting up a wall of silence, then you know your only hope is that somebody's doing something that just can't be revealed yet, rather than totally burning you.
And you know what? If my comments stop my sentencing, then good, because you know what? You know what should have stopped my sentencing is the February 5th 27-page letter that I sent out. Should have stopped my sentencing.
Right.
And that should have stopped it in its tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's only after I let it be known on the record that I had a 27-page letter out there. By the way, my state-appointed liberal lawyer didn't want me to mention, and he swore he would mention it, and then he didn't. And that's when I stopped trusting him, right about there. So then I mentioned it on the record. I mentioned that I just wanted to go to trial. I mentioned that Joe McBride screwed the pooch over here and left me out to dry. I mentioned that Maria Rodriguez, you know, I'm not even sure if I mentioned Maria Rodriguez on the, but I certainly do in the 27-page letter. Now, the fact is that I have, then on February 5th, my son's birthday, I sent a certified letter, which I talked to you guys about.
Yes.
I said I want to send it out. I got the certified letter. I said it's on its way out. And then Bridget McCain didn't sign the piece of paper, and I'm not going to go over, but she didn't sign the piece of paper. The woman came to pick it up late at night, blah, 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 and then it wasn't ready, and then Bridget McCain finally signed the piece of paper, and then the woman wasn't back to pick it up. Well, then 3 days, so it sat on the CO's desk for 3 days. So then finally, the regular mailman picked it up, which was certified mail, by the way, which is my right to send into the courts. I don't care if I have a lawyer or not, if I want to send the courts a letter, I have every right to do that.
Yes.
As an American, in the American court system.
It's a universal right.
It's a universal right. I have it's an American court system, federal court system right. I have every right to speak directly to the judge.
He can't get in?
I can go ahead and tell the judge, hey judge, guess what? My lawyer's fired. I was trying to do that for 6 months. I have grievances here going back 9-6.
That just tells you how broken the chain of communication is, and you can't have a proper lawsuit as a detainee or as incarcerated. It is impossible. They make it so that the system doesn't, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and then they say, well, we didn't know.
As far as I'm concerned, because I have it handwritten, this is the tracking number: 7020-1810-0001-2355-2461. Filled out on 226 and waiting on Dunbar and McCain. I don't know what 226 is. What's 226? That should be a Monday. Monday.
Yep.
And then it sat for 3 days, okay? And then on the 28th, at night, it got picked up out of the...
You have 1 minute remaining.
That's a certified...
There was something nefarious about that, because the timing of the pickup of the letter and then going to the CO's desk rather than the mailbox. Keep that in mind. The CO's desk...
Well, I had it on the CO's desk because it's on camera.
Yes.
So they picked it up, but they never gave me a receipt for it.
Yep.
This is all on the quote on the record from you guys. Okay, so this is crazy. It's sat around. It's supposedly it's still in waiting. Now, Mel Halley, thank you. I know we had our differences, but she started freaking out on these people. And saying that this is a federal crime. I want my letter delivered to the judge.
I mean, they're committing international crimes.
I am absolutely...
Thank you for using.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count because it was Chris.
That's right. That's right. All right, they're blocking the road. All right, yeah, that's what I was going to tell them. You want to tell them a little something? Because I didn't see it.
Okay, so currently the protesters have blocked Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's on the other side of the president getting there, or if they close it down after getting.
Blocked his motorcade.
Blocked his motorcade. Hope there's no Secret Service about. Oh, but there is. What kind of crime does that make that?
Stopping an official proceeding?
Perhaps they might throw that on him. Maybe.
Slap on a wrist and a pizza.
Yeah. All right, I guess we'll listen.
Will you climb the highest mountain? Will you fight for those who can't? Will you fold and walk away? Or will you stay and take a stand? Don't be silenced by the lights where you can choose to understand. Oh, we've come too far to see us come alive.
They want us lost and scarred. Hate the cops, break the law. In the news tries to say what's right and wrong. If you believe that, it's safe to say you probably gone. And I don't wear a mask once you make me put one on. These days, morals and values take a back seat. Underage girls getting paid to shake their ass cheeks.
Thank you for using. That's probably best we don't.
Apple.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry. I want to finish up. I know that I'm not trying to take over anyone's time, but I won't take over the vigil. But this is absolutely ludicrous. I got people saying, "Oh well, after a sealed indictment, blah 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 blah." Listen, asshole, and you know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if there are things being said out there, oh, well, because of things that he said on the vigil and things that he said on podcasts and blah, 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 blah. Add that in your little reporting. Okay, because the last thing that I have done is start to cooperate. Yep. I was offered this. I've given everything about this. Or I've given everything because I won't. And I don't even, I'm not even saying I have anything to tell them. But I won't help them. Why? Because why would you help the person trying to burn so many other patriotic Americans? Why would you burn the people who have your back day in and day out? Why would you burn the husbands and that are listening, and the wives that are listening, and the husbands of wives and wives of husbands and veterans and tradespeople? Why would you ever, how cowardly of a person can you be? I just don't understand. That is a stain, and to the veterans that actually gave up other people to save their own necks, how dare you? You're disgusting. And I hate to say it, because don't get me wrong, hey, thanks for your service, but that's like well, yeah, I served my country for 30 years, and then I created, I betrayed my country and started selling trade secrets to Russia, like Joe Biden has, or China. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm
at a loss for words at this point. How much can we say about the whole thing? The fraud.
It's disgusting. It's the FBI, the CIA. It's all going to come out in a very, very short time. Why do you think they won't let me out? Why? Because I had a wife. I had a child. I had a family. I had a house. I had a great living.
I know. It's a
wife,
disgusting process. It's been so disgusting for everybody. For my family, I can't even tell you the things that have happened to my family in the last 3 years. And wouldn't want
I can only imagine.
And it's just been, from
gang stalked by law enforcement.
What'd you say?
Gang stalked by law enforcement. I mean, I know several people that are peripheral patriots of J6ers who have had detectives and FBI and God knows who else gang stalk them in their day-to-day life for the last 3-4 years. It's incredible.
I can only imagine, Mickey. I can only imagine. But keep on. We're on the phone, man. We're on the phone.
Yep.
It's too loud out there. Listen, man.
Put your camera on.
Come on.
Yes, it's supposed to be on.
Listen, we're on the vigil right now. You're live with thousands of people right now.
Yeah.
Officer.
No,
you're live with thousands of people listening to you right now. You're literally, I'm in the middle of an interview.
No,
it's not out of bounds.
We do it all the time.
We do it all the time.
You do it, and if it is wrong, you just do it.
No. You don't even, look, you guys don't even follow your own DOC policies. Don't tell us about policy.
You were supposed to have your camera on.
Go.
This is the bullshit that we're talking about. What, you don't think that they just stepped in and they said, hey, listen, hey, Frank, yeah, you guys got 5 minutes here on the radio right now.
Nope. No. Don't bother me again.
This is the bullshit that we're going through.
I hear that. Everybody hears that.
This is the bullshit that we're going through.
I swear to God, if somebody doesn't pull a trigger over here, I'm going to start murdering people.
I swear to God. We're trying to cut down on the sound from TVs going and this going and that going, and we're just trying to talk to you guys. Well, you don't think that he got a phone call?
Probably did, Chris. Probably did.
So, I'm sorry, Micki. Let's move outside, bro. You guys are out of control, untrained, telling people what to do. So, I'm sorry, Micki, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's been hard on everybody, Chris, and you know the stress fractures that's put on so many different families. You know, Nicole's family, my family, your family, everybody's family. It's just it's part of the process. You know, part of the breaking down the spirit, breaking down the family, breaking down the moral. So I mean the morale. So. You know, I don't know what to say to any of that other than this is so much by design. You know, this is so much struggle. What'd you say? Part of the struggle.
Well, then it's time Americans start designing their own future. I'm sorry. It's this is why they wanted us in D.C. Because so they can block our mail, so they can block our communication. You know, so we can't even talk to you guys. Without being severely monitored. You don't think that they're opening up our mail as it goes out? That's why they wanted me out of New Jersey. A, to keep me away from my family, and because I could keep my family together there. And then B, they wanted me back here so that they could have full access to me. You don't think that this pod is monitored on the outside? I mean, on every inch of this pod is monitored? Of course it is. Audio and video. What, you don't think that the FBI has some sort of Homeland Security, Patriot Act, okay, stipulation in here that they're monitoring everything, ourselves included? They don't have any grounds or any standing. They've broken chain of title in law, and yet they're telling us that they have authority. I think that is asinine. The fact that the left is celebrating this shows everyone, left, middle, and right, that they are not true Americans. Because forget about Trump for a second, okay? Forget about that. Okay? Do you think January 6th was about Trump? Why? Because there were a few Trump flags out? People wearing Trump hats? That years of it wasn't about Trump. The FBI made it about Trump. The CIA made it about Trump. The left made it about Trump. January 6th was going to happen whether it was Trump or anyone else that spoke out that wasn't part of the club. Okay, that's why I wrote the persecuted me. I don't want to say by name, but it's I guess the letter or the short story or whatever it is. That's why I wrote it. So, you lefties that are listening every day and cheering and this and that, why don't you really read Persecuted People? Really read it, okay? Because if it happens to us, believe me, it's going to happen to you. That's why you don't want Trump back in, okay? But it's one. The people. Now listen, I don't give a shit about your particular views. It's going to be, we're going to do law and order, and that's how it's going to be, and blah, 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 blah. But the left chose the riot act, okay? The vice president said a few broken windows are for the cause is greater than a few broken windows. I very, very well say it out there. Okay, why? All of a sudden, because it goes up Congress's front steps, all of a sudden that's an out of bounds? Why? Why are you so special? You are elected officials. You are not fucking kings and queens. Well, they think they are because they're foreign entities.
to be honest with you.
So
1945 Florida Immunity Act, bud.
So Chris.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject, so I feel like, you know, maybe we should, I don't know. Well, anyway, I want to tell you.
Micki, listen, I love you, and I love you, and I really do appreciate you trying to change the subject, but I am so done about bending the knee and this and that.
Yeah, walking lightly, walking on eggshells, all this BS.
My God.
Look, what happens if your savior doesn't make it? Hold on. You know, what's going to be the backup plan for America?
That's a good
question. Micki, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a good question. No, I actually do have a little news to share, though, because y'all know the State of the Union address is tonight. And so there's a large number of pro-Palestinian protesters that have blocked the president's
motorcade. Here we go.
Yeah, they blocked the president's motorcade. And as the last time we checked, of course we are on the corner and you know, we're just sporadically checking. But the last time we looked, the president was blocked, his motorcade was blocked.
Brew has been disgusted and thrown down his mic. I have Box with me.
Hello, Patriot.
Hello, here.
Hello. That was a crazy thing to witness. I don't know if Flag and Brew are getting a little too close to the sun and sharing some truth, but absolutely ridiculous, that whole thing.
But so, Box, did you hear? What happened? So, pro-Palestinians have now blocked the motorcade of the president.
That sounds like obstruction of an official proceeding.
That sounds like an obstruction of official proceeding to me, if there isn't one.
The State of the Union's not ceremonial, you know, or January 6th wasn't ceremonial, the State of the Union isn't either. Those are official proceedings by any definition.
That's where they're going to get with it. They're going to say it's ceremonial.
So we're here in D.C. The pro-Palestinian protesters have blocked the president's Resident Joe's motorcade.
Yes. Yeah, that's what happened. Well, we did see the cops earlier. The police got rough with one of the protesters and kind of threw him down on the ground. But you know, we've been sporadically watching. But I'm sure they'll clear the road for old Sleepy Joe. Thanks, Storm. Way to clean it up for me. Yeah, I'm sure they'll clear the way for him. But you know, I'm just saying there's some similarities, some tendencies. Several hundred.
He hadn't even started the address when I looked.
Yeah, no.
Several hundred.
There's several hundred.
Yeah, he hasn't even
Well, you know what? I'm sure that's what they were doing at 6 o'clock in the morning today. Is they were clearing out another unit for the pro-Palestinian people because you know definitely, and I have to say FJ Blank, but they after this article that came out talking about troll and this and that about the noise, all of a sudden, hey, jackhammer and hammer drilling coming from all over at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, every morning for 3 days. So the fact that they're even doing this at 6 o'clock in the morning is ridiculous.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I run $1 million commercial electrical jobs in hospitals and in occupied spaces where you have to work different hours and whatever. They can definitely open up and they can do non-loud work for 2 hours, and then they can start the hammer drills at 9 o'clock.
Well, salam alaikum to all of our eventual cellmate neighbors.
Yeah, and of course they're going to be on top of us now, right? So when they plug the toilet, hey, that's awesome.
Cultural risk.
Well, shit rolls. God bless it. That's how it is.
It must be serious because we usually have about 10 cop cars out here tonight. We had 2 and the third one just showed up, so must be a lot going on. All right, we're about ready to get cut off.
Micki, I love you, ladies. Thank you so much for giving us a voice. It's not going to stop. I don't care. And to my dad, I love you so much, but I can't.
He just can't.
Chris loves you, Dad. And that's just a point, too. These are human beings that we're talking about. They're not inmate numbers. They're not chess pawns on somebody else's board. They're not expendable human beings. And they're not, political dissidents. They are American people that showed up to redress their government. So
you know, let's treat them as such. Treat them as people.
Exercising your Bill of Rights.
That's right. And the American citizen that shouldn't have been there that day was Michael Byrd, because he should have been fired. Excessive use of force. Left his loaded weapon in a restroom.
Thank you, Sherry. We're going to go ahead and do the roll call. Lives lost on January 6th. Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips, and the following day, Officer Brian Sicknick. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
The J6ers that are currently detained: Justin Adams, Tommy Allen, Chris Albert, Russell Alfred, Francis Azari, Joseph Azari, Noah Bacon, Edward Badalion, Daniel Ball, Thomas Ballard, Logan Barnhart, Richard Barnett, Pauline Bauer, Julio Vaquero, Matthew Bedingfield, Luke Bender, Joe Biggs, Aiden Billiard, Craig Bingert, Joshua Black, Kenneth Bonowitz, Dominic Bach, Brendan Bradshaw, Jeffrey Brown, Jeremy Brown, Mark Brew, Jennifer Boutois, Daniel Caldwell, William Calhoun, Jared Cantrell, Sarah Carpenter, Jacob Clark, Cal Clayton, Stephen Capuccio, Billy Cressman, Reed Christensen, Dylan Cronin, Josiah Colt, Mason Corson, Bruno Kua, Matthew De Silva, James Davis, Nicholas DiCarlo, Nathan DeGraves, David Dempsey, Lucas Denny, Robert Dennis, Timothy DeJargan, Michael Dickinson, Caleb Dillard, Joshua Doolin, Michael Eckerman, James Elliott, Daniel Egvet, Brandon Fellows, Kyle Fitzsimon, Kevin Galetto, Mitchell Gardner, Robert Gieswein, David Gietzen, Vincent Gillespie, Vitaly Goszczynkowski, Jeffrey Grace, James Grant, Matthew Green, Brian Gunderson, Joseph Hackett, Stacy Hager, Johnny Harris, Richard Harris, Joshua Haynes, Donald Hazard, Albuquerque Head, Joshua Hernandez, Eric Herrera, Alan Hostetter, Joseph Howell, Joshua Hughes, Jared Hughes, Joseph Hutchinson, Matthew Huddle, Brian Jackson, Shane Jenkins, Justin Jersey, Joshua Johnson, Zachary Johnson, Taylor Jonatakis, David Judd, Leo Kelly, Julian Cater, Frederico Klein, Matthew Kroll, Nicholas Langren, Daniel Layden, Joseph Layden, Michael Lockwood, Joshua Lawler, Kevin Lyons, Marcus Malley, Christian Manley, Anthony Mastaduno, Cody Matisse, James Malt, Christopher Moyer, Mark Mazza, Ronald Maccabee, Patrick McCarthy, James McGrew, Sean McHugh, Jeffrey McKellop, James McNamara, Connie Meggs, Kelly Meggs, Jonathan Mellis, Rodney Millstreet, Matthew Ryan Miller, Scott Miller, Jordan Mink, Robert Menuda, Landon Mitchell, David Marshall, Andrew Morgan, Robert Morse, Jonathan Manafo, Eric Munchell, Daryl Neely, Ryan Nichols, Christine Niemela, Gregory Nix, Ethan Nordine, Nicholas Ox, Grady Owens, Jason Owens, Joseph Padilla, Robert Palmer, Stuart Parks, Nathan Pelham, Michael Perkins, Dominic Pizzola, Daniel Phipps, Jonathan Pollock, Olivia Pollock, Mark Ponder, Rachel Powell, Sean Price, Joshua Pruitt, Joseph Pavlik, Chris Quaglin, Barry Ramey, Guy Reffitt, Zach Reel, Nariana Reiner, Stuart Rhodes, Howard Richardson, Ed Richmond, George Riley, Thomas Robertson, Michael Roberts, Michael Roche, Jonathan Rockholt, Edward Rodriguez, Daniel Rodriguez, Greg Rubenacker, Bobby Russell, Jeffrey Sable, Ryan Samsel, Ronald Sandlin, Salvador Sandoval, Robert Sanford, Peter Schwartz, Benjamin Schuler, Daniel Scott, Christian Secor, Hunter Seafried, Kevin Seafried, Alexander Shepard, Thomas Civic, Jeffrey Seals, Michaela Sly, Charles Smith, Tommy Smith, Kelly Sorrell, Audrey Southard, Hatchet Speed, Yvonne St. Croix, Peter Stager, Shelley Stallings, Patrick Stedman, Laura Steele, Tristan Stevens, John Strand, Tara Stottlemyre, Isaac Sturgeon, Alan Sweeney, Andrew Taki, Enrique Tario, Curtis Tate, George Tenney, Jacob Therese, Kenneth Thomas, Devlin Thompson, Dustin Thompson, John Todd, Edward Vallejo, Salvador Vasalis, Eric Scott Warner, Jessica Watkins, William Watson, Matthew Webler, Thomas Webster, Bradley Weeks, Jack Witten, Anthony Williams, Riley Williams, Timothy Williams, Duke Wilson, Ricky Wilden, Shane Woods, Chris Worrell, Donnie Wren, John Wright, Douglas Wyatt, Gregory Yetman, Isaac Yoder, Kyle Young, Jacob Zirkle, and those we've lost to suicide, Christopher Georgia, Matthew Perna, Mark Unks, and George Meacham. Rest in peace. Now let's say her name. Ashley Babbitt! Ashley Babbitt! Ashley Babbitt! Ashley Babbitt! Ashley Babbitt!
Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt, 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 say her name, 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 Ashley Babbitt. Babbitt was a victim. I'm screaming USA, free the real Jan Sixers. She's a patriot who was let down by the system. I'm screaming for the fallen so nobody will forget them. Air Force veteran, wrapped in a Trump flag. It's Trump 24. You know we about to run it back. Nothing will stop us. We about to get it right. They can try and try, but the storm is here from dark to light. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. Rest in peace. Say her name, Ashley Babbitt, say her name, Ashley Babbitt, say her name, Ashley Babbitt, say her name, Ashley Babbitt. Whoa, 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 Ashley Babbitt. Whoa, whoa, Ashley Babbitt. Yo, shout out Micki. We could never feel your pain, but just know your daughter's life won't be taken in vain. Shout out Sarah McAbee, yeah, I'm sending you straight. I hope they let your husband out of that prison today. Ashley served in Afghanistan, she served in Iraq, and she died for her country from a senseless attack. Yeah, we waiting for justice, cause Ashley was innocent. Mainstream won't cover it, they honest to ignorant. If a white girl shot a black man, they would say that's different, but the story didn't fit the agenda they pitching. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt, we feeling your energy. Say her name, Ashley Babbitt, this song's for your memory. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt, 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 say her name, 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 Ashley Babbitt. The country is a cold stem cat on the river like the country. So tell them boys to come on home. I wanna see that flag wave. I was born in the USA, and I'm proud of my country. So tell them boys to come on home. I wanna see that flag wave.
Yeah, I just wanna see my flag wave again. I'm trying to make America great again. I know we won't make the same mistakes again. Since Trump's been gone, it ain't the same again. Yeah, this is for the veterans, this is for Americans. Greatest country on earth, yeah, there's no comparisons. This is for the generals, this is for who fighting overseas so that we can have a better place. This is for the soldiers, this is for the kids, you'll understand it when you older. This is for Marines that got straps on their shoulders. This is for the posters, this is one for people who got robbed when they voted. This is for the mothers that lost their sons. This is to the countries who thought they won. Yeah, this is our place, this is our inheritance. Proud to be American, and I was
born in the USA, and I'm proud of my country. So tell them boys to come on home. I wanna see that flag wave. I was born in the USA, and I'm proud of my country. So tell them boys to come on home. I wanna see that flag wave.
Yeah. This one's for the Navy, this one's for God up above who looked down and he saved me. This is for my warriors who in basic training. This is for my fighters who are out here fighting bravely. This is for the infantry, this is one for anyone who really got love for this country, yeah. And if you don't, there's really nothing you can say that would make me not love the USA. This is one for anyone with full metal jackets. We the best country that is on the map. And this is for my jarheads that were fighting Taliban. This is for my troops that were sent to Afghanistan. This is for the men at arms who defend our homes and prevent our...
Monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on out there on Freedom Corner this evening?
Well, we're just vigilizing out here just like every other night. But we're down, like, I don't know, we're missing probably about 8 cop cars out here because they're all busy over outside the Capitol where the Palestinian protesters are blocking the president's motorcade, and he will be late to the State of the Union address.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Good. Well, at least somebody is doing something to express their opinion.
Yes. Right. Yep.
In a peaceful way, by the way, in a peaceful way.
I hope so. They're blocking the road.
Yeah.
Blocking the road. Sounds like obstruction.
All right, well, okay, hold on. Let me do the 3-minute warning. Hold on. 3 minutes! 3 minutes! All right. So, have you guys heard anything about the protesters out there? As far as they're blocking the road, are they laying down? Do they have bricks? I mean, what are they doing?
They're sitting. And then we saw earlier, before the president was on his way, we saw a guy revving the engine of his car, and a whole bunch of police officers threw him to the ground, and a bunch of cameras in the face. It's quite a chaotic looking situation.
Yeah. So, wait, so he got arrested for revving his engine?
Well, he was kind of in the middle of the road. It might have been in a threatening way, like move or I'm going to run your ass over or something like that. I'm not sure, because it was just a brief, brief glimpse on Twitter, and then we packed it up and came to the vigil. So, and I left with a not completely charged phone, so I had to save my battery for you, Jeff.
Oh, shucks. You make me feel so special.
All right. Well, we do love you. We too.
All right. Well, what do we got for news today?
Well, what's what's that? Letitia? Yeah. Oh, the Laken Riley bill was passed by Congress. It was voted. All the Republicans voted for it. I think it was 170 Democrats voted no. When the bill would have said, you know, you have to detain people that are illegal if they commit a crime. But there were 170 Democrats that aren't for that. And then Letitia, what's the James. Letitia James was giving a speech at a fire department, New York Fire Department, and people broke into Trump chants and booed her.
Yeah, I heard that. It's phenomenal.
Okay, well, I
all right, yeah, we have a special guest here. Hold on, we have a special. Sorry, say again?
No, I'm just saying you already know everything I said, so.
Okay, well, we've got Mr. John Todd here, but I'll let him chat while I get everybody ready. We're doing the 1 minute warning. Hold on. 1 minute! 1 minute!
Hey, Mr. John Todd, how's it going?
Hey, John Todd.
It's going amazing. Had a status hearing today where they told the lawyer that Jill never brought me to the phone, which they did. And then the probation officer told me that the lawyer never showed up. I'm loving playing the guessing game.
3, 2, 1. Oh,
We got me and Mr. John Todd. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying. I was just saying welcome back.
All right. Let's see, news-wise, you said the one thing about somebody yelling Trump. Where was that and what was that again? So I can write that one down.
That was Letitia James, and she was given some sort of speech at a fire department gathering, and people broke into a Trump rant and booed her. New York. In New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. And then we talked about the Lake and Riley bill and the Palestinian protest blocking the president's motorcade. And that's pretty much all I have. And you already knew most of those things, so.
We went to the weaponization of the federal government hearing today with the government, about the government colluding with banks and large corporations to surveil on the American people. Officer Fanone was there to do a rebuttal for the Democrats, although I'm not sure why they brought Fanone on for such a hearing as that, because really that's not Jan 6. Even though they found out about all the surveillance because of Jan 6, because so many of the banking companies, they handed over financials of everyone from, I believe, January 5th through 7th. that was in the DMV area, and if you had bought a weapon in the 6 months prior to January 6th, your name was even put at the top of the list.
And if you bought a Bible, you went to the tippity top.
Right, and so, you know, you have no idea. They've been able to do this to the American people since the mid-1970s. Yes, and you have no idea. They had a witness from Canada. He stated, you know, what is happening in his country, and he emphasizes, you know, what's happening there is definitely coming to our country, and the direction of AI and these businesses colluding with the government. It can almost be like a Minority Report-like situation where may not commit a crime.
Yeah, I think that's actually happening. I think it's Washington State that has some bill that's coming through. I just read about it today. That is going to be signed into law where you can basically be charged almost with thought crimes. If whoever turns you in gets $2,000.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was very interesting. What was really frustrating, though, Jeff, is that you know, the people on the left, the representatives on the left, really just kept trying to make it about January 6th. And, you know, that is an issue that affects people whether they were at the protest or not. You know, this is something that people should be aware of and ask their representatives to change that law.
Government overreach at its finest.
Yeah.
All right, news-wise, I'm going to throw out one or two things here. I've got something that's a little old, but it's someone sent me quite a bit about it, so I'm just going to touch on it. And that is that the Department of State, a person by the name of Victoria Nuland, her title was the Office of Undersecretary for Political Affairs. Apparently, from what I heard, she's like way high up in the State Department. And spent a lot of time over in the Ukraine, and that it was announced, I believe, just a couple days ago that she, out of the blue, suddenly resigned. No reason given. The other very interesting thing is that she's replaced by a gentleman by the name of John Bass, and he was in Afghanistan as the head State Department guy, who, from what I read, quote, he orchestrated the Afghanistan withdrawal from a State Department perspective. So if he has now, if Victoria Nuland was, let's just say, for lack of a better word, told time to go, or handed her hat, or threatened with, let's just say, the good guys said, hey, if you don't do what we're telling you to do, then some things can legally happen to you in the future, and then she's replaced by Mr. John Bass, then if he was the one that orchestrated the Afghani withdrawal, because you've got not only your military, but you've also got your subcontractors. You also have your people that were in the green zone. So everything has to get moved. Now, if we're looking at that and then saying, well, let's take a look at the Ukraine, and with the CIA saying, hey, by the way, we're admitting to these 12 CIA bases that we talked about just the other day, it could be a wink and a nod to the operation that's going on in Ukraine from a CIA perspective or State Department perspective is now going to be shut down and dismantled, whether that's under the Biden regime or whether that's under Trump when Trump comes in, remains to be seen. But the writing on the wall is that it's time to pull out. So that's my take. Got anything to add?
No, I would not begin to question your take on things, but because I don't really know. I don't, you know, I hadn't heard anything about it. But no, I don't have any other little tidbits of news. We did, we went to the committee hearing, and then we did Tina Peters' podcast today, and then, and we came here. There wasn't a whole lot of news watching. And sometimes y'all know stuff better than we do.
And you heard about, I heard about Fannie Willis, that there was some kind of, one of her staff members turned her in for some kind of audio that this person heard. Either it was either behind a closed door or something, but Fannie was basically threatening a witness. So that's a tampering with witness thing. So again, these are rumors I'm hearing in here.
The conversation was between his divorce attorney and Fannie, and it was overheard by a staff member, and she was threatening him.
Okay. Oh, look at you. Thank you for that little nugget.
That was Sherry.
So,
that was Sherry.
Yeah. So it looks as though the plot thickens, even with the destruction of, or the dismantling of, or the embarrassment of Fannie Willis. So,
Jeff,
they are also let them destroy themselves.
They are also questioning her payment to her boy toy because he was paid 700 times more than what the other investigators were being paid.
Wow.
I heard he was getting paid double what everybody else was getting paid. I didn't hear that.
700 times, that's quite a margin. And you figure, I believe...
You have 1 minute remaining.
The word is potential kickback, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, all right, Mr. Todd, you got any words of wisdom before we get? Or just say whatever you want to say. We got 1 minute.
I really don't. I'm at a loss for words right now.
All right, you guys, you know where I'm going. Hey, people out there, get involved. Go to precinctstrategy.com. Get involved. Check out tacticalcivics.com. And other than that, thank you guys out there for being there every single night. We will get through this. God's righteousness will prevail. So thank you for all you do. God bless you, and God bless America.
God bless you, and God bless America. Good night, guys. Good night, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Apparently he has made it and they're walking in now.
Well, did they just let him by? Did they move over and let him by?
They must have.
Maybe they got voluntold to move over and let him by. I didn't see it. There was no transition of power happening, nor any words of power happening, nor anything of power happening. Gonna be some slurring and crying, and then it's over. We don't have to worry about it.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say
USA! USA! USA!
And we have some sad news that Willie Nelson passed away last night.
No.
Yes, he did.
Oh, well, that's something else I didn't hear.
All right, rest in peace.
Well, I
Willie
do
Nelson.
think we would have heard that.
It is true.
Aw.
What?
Rest in peace, Willie Nelson.
Good night, Mama Micki.
Good night, Miss Katie.
All right, Katie, good night.
All right, thank everybody as always for tuning in, and thank everybody for being out here. And Jade, thank you for those snacks that you keep bringing. And y'all pray for us. We'll pray for you, and we'll see you out here tomorrow night.
I don't see that he's dead.
Did you guys see the news? There's like a assemblyman from New York.
George Santos.
His son, right? Like his son had a car accident and then just passed away. And he was his
All right,
latest
Freedom Corner,
trigger was like
Texas, we'll
pro
see you tomorrow.
Second
Let's
Amendment
say
gun
prayers.
issue. Yeah. So his son was like 14
Tomorrow,
something
pray
year
for
old,
me.
like got
God
into a
bless you
car
all.
accident and then like brain,
Stay safe.
yeah, something. Oh no. Yeah. Not young. Pretty sad. That is.
Let's go. God, it's too much on the table.
金针菇啊，他们吃金针菇啊。
Yeah. 拿着。
盖了吗？盖紧。
要不然太多东西了。
这个东西怎么办？这谁？
地上的袋子里装到地上袋子里的。有些可能可以不要了吧。Good night, David, for freedom. Good night, Roy. All right, pray for Lucas. Yes. Okay. Pages, I don't want to go to the Independent Avenue because I think maybe there will be a traffic jam over there, so I avoid to go that way. Okay, thank you for your support, for your prayer, and we will see you tomorrow. You have a great night, Patriots. See you tomorrow.